Kaitum Gitami, an Hausa leader, has advised the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not to appoint Fulanis into his government because of their antecedent. Hausa leaders have given quick notice to Fulani settlers in northern Nigeria, asking them to leave their land because of the many atrocities committed by this group of people. When you talk about terrorism in Nigeria, you know that it is associated with this Fulani tribe. The Hausas are saying that enough is enough. We don't want these Fulanis in our lands anymore. They have become a threat to the Hausa people. They also advised the president, do not appoint Fulanis into your government. They are traitors. They are people that are not to be trusted. This is the wide range of sentiment, notion that Nigerians are having for the particular tribe called Fulani. They find a way to spread themselves around using government. When they get to a particular place, they install their emiracy. They use religion, they use political tactics to permeate into a society or community, and before you know it, they find themselves in strategic positions, which is a deliberate thing to conquer anywhere they find themselves. From that small community, from that one person that gets into that community, before he expands, securing a particular piece of land, expanding, they are very cunning. Like what the Jitami said, that the father of Danfodio came in naked in the northern Nigeria. It was the Hausas that clothed him. Danfodio, Usman Danfodio, the grandfather of the Fulanis, learnt literacy in Hausa land, Islam. He met Islam in Hausa land. So one thing about Fulani, they distort facts. They create a government of themselves whereby they can influence policies that can distort facts. They name communities after conquering them through religion, after their own nomenclature. So the Hausas have realized that these Fulanis are becoming a threat to their race. And if not being careful, they might exterminate them. The Hausas are more in number than Fulani. You don't see a place where Fulani belongs to. So this letter written by this Hausa leader asking the Fulanis to leave Hausa land, there's one information in that letter written to the president. They said that if it's going by armed struggle, if it's to take up arms to liberate ourselves, we must take up arms to liberate ourselves. Now it's evident from this exposure that the Fulanis cannot be trusted in Nigeria. They have a motive. We have had Buhari, a Fulani. We have Atiku, a Fulani. We have Mahmoud Yakubu, a Fulani. Most people in the army, they are Fulani. Most leaders, top generals in the army are Fulani. Most people that pilot some of the affairs of Nigeria are Fulani. And it is like a state capture of the country, looking at a larger trajectory. So I don't know if the Hausa people are taking this very serious. But let's look at this report, this letter written to the president by Kaitum Gitami. In what could be described as looming tribal and ethnic war between the Hausas and Fulanis, Hausas in northern Nigeria have given Fulanis notice to quit their lands. This follows the recent backlash to Fulani leader Dr. Salim Musa Umar, President General, Fulbe Global Development and Rights Initiatives, by Hausa leader Kaitum Alumbe Gitami, Emancipator Hausawa Santa Development Association. He says that for 219 years, the Hausa people have been victims of terrorism and injustice under Fulani leadership. He also says that Usman Danfodio, the great-grandfather of Fulanis, initiated the killings of Hausa people and seizure of their lands, which continue till today. Kaitum advised Fulanis to exit themselves out of Hausa land before it is too late. He said that your great-grandfather Usman Danfodio in the last 219 years initiated the killings and plunder of Hausa people and their lands by brigandage, which continue till today, it added. The House has also stated that Dr. Salim Umar was silent when his Fulani people were busy visiting Hausa people and committing atrocities unabatedly. It also says, Dr. Salim, where were you that you had been silent when your Fulani people were busy visiting my Hausa people with the following atrocities unabatedly? They buried Hausa people alive in the days of Usman Danfodio. They sold Hausa people like heads of cattle into slavery. They castrated Hausa males to stop them from procreation. They jailed husbands and wives to their death for no just reason. They seized cultivated and uncultivated farmlands belonging to the Hausas. They indoctrinated Hausa children into begging and made them see poverty as their divine destiny. They forbade the Hausa children to go to school, and those who managed to go were deprived of choice courses as they strove to further their education. Hausas are denied recruitment into armed forces, paramilitary, police force, and civil services. They forbade excluded Hausas from participation in politics except for voting, as dictated by Fulani Malams, Imams, and Ulamas. They kidnapped Hausa Christian women from churches and raped them inside mosques, it stated. The statement also added that in northwestern Nigeria, Katsina, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Sokoto, which you are complaining about the insecurity of your Fulani, your very Fulani people did the following to Hausa people. They burned 44 Hausa people alive in a bus. This happened in Sokoto State during the regime of former president of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, a Fulani man. They threw live Hausa babies to Fulani dogs as feed for the dogs to eat in Katsina State. They cooked Hausa newborn baby boy on his naming ceremony and gave his cooked flesh to the Hausa people to eat by force. A 70-year-old woman was gang raped by about 15 Fulani terrorists. They kidnapped a husband and wife with their son and forced the son to rape his mother right before his father. They set a market ablaze with hundreds of people in it in broad daylight. They beheaded 12 people and placed their severed heads on their chests, it lamented. Dr. Salim, be reminded that Fodio, the father of your great-grandfather, arrived in Hausa land naked and uncircumcised. He was a stark illiterate and humanly debased. The Fulani were introduced to circumcision by the Hausas, and Usman Danfodio was taught literacy and Islamic religion in Hausa land. The Fulani never brought Islam to Hausa as they want the world to believe. Today, the Hausa people are saying enough is enough to the Fulani people because the Hausas are forced to remember the good that they represent to the Fulani and the evil that the Fulani represent to the Hausas. Therefore, a call to arms bearing is made to the Hausas by me, Kaltum Alumbe Jitami, that the Hausas must defend themselves and their lands against the Fulani people, it noted. It continued that, Dr. Salim, your voice of condemnation against the atrocities of your Fulani was never heard. But no sooner did we stand up to your Fulani people, you are all over the place calling for attention. Enough is enough, and there's no going back to ejecting the Fulani out of Hausa land by every means possible for masterminding genocide against Hausa people. The Fulani are strongly advised to exit themselves out of Hausa land before it is too late, it declared. Kaitum Jitami had, in an open letter to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, recently stated that appointment of Fulanis is destructive to unity of Nigeria. What's your take on this report?